Today we have with us the 2014 Mercedes SLK 350, the go-to car if you wanted a convertible, but also a Mercedes. And so today we are here to review it.
Now before starting this review, I would like to say that we are a considerably new channel, and the main USP of our channel is to give one of the most detailed reviews out there. So if you are interested in such detailed reviews of such amazing cars, well, I think pressing that red subscribe button would be an amazing job, and do press that notification bell so that you're up to date with our posts. Also, a really big thank you to Mohit and Raja Car Deals for lending us this amazing SLK 350 for a review. They have an amazing inventory of many other luxury cars and sports cars just like this one. So if you are interested to buy such cars, contact them using the links in the description below. And with that said, now let's finally start the review of this convertible.
Well, if we talk about the styling of this car, it has a typical SL class design with the pointy, very long hood scented by the Mercedes logo on top of the hood and the bigger Mercedes logo in the grille. Coming to the side, we have dual projector intelligent light system in this car with a broken DRL design, and down below we have the standing lamps. Now, as you all know, this car has a quite long hood, and the main reason behind it is the engine placement of this car. The engine in this car is placed a little behind the front wheels, and that placement increases the track stability in this car. Coming to the side of this car, it has a very compact design, and that coupled with its power, it makes the perfect go-kart on the road. If we talk about some styling cues in this car, we have fake vents on the side and actual vents on the hood of this car. Talking about alloy wheels, we have 17-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels which look super cool. If we move on to the rear in this car, we have an old school design with the tail lamp curved to the side and with the SLK badging. Now, one styling cue that is quite weird is that you must have seen that most of the cars provide the third brake light over on that part of the car. But as is in hardtop convertible, they can't really do that. So they have given the third brake light over on the trunk. Talking about performance in this car, we have 3.5 litre V6 engine capable of producing 306 horsepower and 370 Nm of torque. The engine of this car is coupled with 7-speed gearbox, and by far the best thing in this car is that this car is rear wheel drive. So be sure, this car is great for a massive spin class.
So starting with the features in this car, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the convertible hardtop of this car. And I will be telling you how to take off this hardtop, but before that there is one feature that I want to talk to you guys about, and as you can see, that is of the sunroof. The sunroof over here, as you can see, has a blue tint to it so that there is not a lot of sunlight here in the cabin, thus preventing the car from getting a lot hot and also from the sunlight. But say you don't want this blue tint and you want it to go away. Well, number one is you can take off the roof and then you'll have an open air environment. But the second thing is you can actually just press this button. And did you guys see what just happened? Let me just do it again. Just by the push of this one button, as you can see, I can remove and put in this blue tint so that it can allow or prevent the sunlight from getting into the cabin, which I think is just an amazing feature. And one other car that I have in mind which also has this feature is the McLaren 720S Spider. And with that out of the way, now let's talk about opening the hardtop roof. This button over here is actually for rolling down or putting up the windows of this car, and both the windows can be controlled using this one switch. Then the second switch over here is for actually putting up or putting down the hardtop of this car, and the one caveat is that you actually have to hold the button while you're actually putting up or putting down the roof. Once you leave the button and if it's in the progress, it'll start showing you a lot of different warnings, but the roof progress would stop right there. So you just have to press and hold the button. Keep that in mind. But now let's enjoy the process of this car converting its roof. And so now, while enjoying the open roof in this car. Let's talk about the other features of this car. So we'll start with the steering wheel, which is a genuine Mercedes steering wheel. As you can see, we have controls over here for controlling this display, that is the driver's display. We have a back button once again for the driver's display. Over here we have call ending button, call picking up button, volume buttons, and a mute button over here. We also have a voice control command button over here, but as this is an old model and it's not AI based, you can only control a few bunch features that we have been given on this display over here. Over on this side we have a few stocks. This is for the wiper stock in this car. This small stock is for controlling where you want the steering wheel. That is an automated electronic steering wheel. You can adjust the height of the steering wheel, the length of the steering wheel, everything through this stock. And then last but not the least, we have the cruise control stock over on this side. But by far the best feature of the steering wheel is of the paddle shifters. Obviously this is a sports car, and for spirited driving this is one of the best features. Now if we talk about this display over here, as you can see we have the gear selector on the top, P, R, N, D, and then over on this side where we have E written, that is actually the mode the car is driving in right now. Right now it's in eco mode, that's why it's E, but if I press this button over here, as you can see, which has ESM, we can press this button to change it, and then we have sport mode, and then we have manual mode in this car. So that's pretty cool. Let's put it back into eco mode, and then we have the odometer of this car, which is right now in miles, so you can change it from the units, and that will be in kilometers. So this car has been driven only 5,868 kilometers, which is approximately 8 or 9,000 kilometers. But anyways, we can use these buttons to control the display. As you can see, if I press this over here, we then have audio. I can control the FM, the Bluetooth audio, and all that features from this display. Then going forward, we have the telephone, which you can connect your phone through Bluetooth. And then moving forward, we have assistants, where we have assistant graphic. As you can see, it gives you a small representation of the SLK and the road in front of you. So if anyone comes in front of the car, it is going to give you a small little representation of that car over here. And then going back, we have the attention assist, in which this car will alert you if you're feeling drowsy or sleepy. So if you are feeling drowsy or sleepy, it'll give you a few different alerts on the display that you're feeling a little bit drowsy, have a little rest for 1 or 2 hours. So that's a pretty cool feature. Then going forward, we then have the service display in this car, where we have 2 messages which are the alerts in this car, such as the low fuel warning and all that stuff. Then we have the tire pressure in this car, which is the run flat indicator. Now if any of the 4 tires of this car were to be low on pressure, it will give you an alert over here. And then we have assist plus, in which we have the service, in which it tells us that the next service of this car is due in 8,800 miles. So that's approximately 15,000 kilometers. So that means Mohit and other car deals has got this car serviced already for you, because these type of cars need to get serviced every 15,000 kilometers. So a big thumbs up to them for that. But anyways, let's go back once again, and then next we have our settings. So if you go into settings, first off we have the instrument cluster. So if I go in that, we have miles. So if I change that, you can see now everything will be in kilometers. So going back, then we have lights. So if you go into that, we have the daytime running lights of this car, and then we have the intelligent lighting system of Mercedes. So if you want to turn that off, you can do it. Then we have the ambient light in this car. Yes, this car has ambient lighting, which is given on the door sills over here. As you can see, the red color has been chosen right now, so it gives you ambient lighting towards the night time, which I think is a great feature. Then we have surround lighting in this car, which is actually for the standing lamp, so that there is a surround lighting around the car. And then we have the light delay switch off, which means that when you turn off the car, the lights of this car would still be turned on for 15-20 seconds, so that you can pick up your stuff and then leave the car. So that's a cool idea as well. Anyways, then we have the vehicle settings, in which we have the speed limit of this car, so you can turn that on winter tires. Right now this car has the Pirelli P7s, but then if you change the tires to winter tires, then you can also choose a speed limit for the winter tires, because we obviously know that winter tires are not meant for speed, they're for grip. So you can change it from here. And then we have the convenience features over here, such as the easy entry and exit, which means that the steering wheel would move actually up, so that you get enough legroom to move in and out of the car. Similarly, when you turn the car back on, it will come back to its original position, which I think is a great feature. Then we have belt adjustment, so that when you put on the belt in this car, it has motorized setup which will tighten the seat belt automatically so that it has a good grip on you. And then we have the auto fold in mirrors and auto fold out mirrors, which is also a great feature, and that's pretty much it. Then going back down, we have the factory settings. So if you want to put all the settings in this car back to its default setting, you can do factory reset. And that's pretty much it for the driver side display in this car, which I think is really informative. And now next up, we have the infotainment display in this car, which is just a normal Mercedes display which used to come in the 2014's time.
So we're going to start the practicality of the glove box in this car. And as you can see, for a sports car, this is a quite large glove box. But this might as well be the most practical thing in this car. But anyways, it seems like there is a storage cubby right there. But once you close it, it isn't. Over on the passenger side footwell area, we have a net. And above that, we also have a bottle holder. Now moving on to the center console, above the gear selector, we have a covered ashtray along with a cigarette lighter. Now below the gear selector, we have two covered cup holders as well. The armrest can also be opened to reveal a large storage cubby and 12-volt charging socket, USB port and an MMI port. Between the two driver and passenger seats, we also have a leather storage cubby. On the roof of this car, we also get a sunglass holder. If we talk about the door bins in this car, we have leather door bins, which is quite minimal. And now for the most important part of our practicality session is this trunk. But this time around, we're going to talk about this trunk in two parts. The first one is with the hard top down and the second one with the hard top up. So right now, as you can see, the hard top is down. If we talk about the actual trunk space with the top down, as you can see, it is quite minimal. There is not enough storage to store any kind of luggage in this car. And now as you can see, we've put the hard top up. And so let's see if it changes the practicality of the trunk or not. Now looking at it like this, it doesn't make a difference. But you can remove this part on which the hard top was resting to access the larger trunk. And now as you can see, we have a quite large storage space for keeping a lot of stuff. But one thing to notice over here is that the trunk mechanism of this car is quite absurd. Now like just as you saw, I opened the trunk as a normal way. But when you put the hard top down, the trunk opens the opposite way. Which is quite weird, but it is high class engineering from Mercedes.
So now if we talk about comfort in the Mercedes SLK 350, well, first of all, it's a sports car, so comfort is not at your biggest priority. But the thing is, you're still going to drive this car, so it is a little bit. So if I talk about the seat material, we have bucket type shaped seats in this car, which I think are really soft. They're made of leather, so they're high quality as well. And they have an enormous amount of support as well because they're bucket seats. Also, it's a Mercedes, so you have all the controls given on the door over here for moving the seat back and forth, the backrest back and forth, and also the lumbar support is given on over here, not over there, so you can control the lumbar support as well from over here. So I think that's really cool, and we also have 3 memory seats in this car, so that's a little cool touch as well. Overall, it's a really comfortable car. Going for a spirited drive in this car, it's going to be really amazing. And so that was a detailed review from Garage Reviews of the 2014 SLK 350. I think it's an amazing car, minus the practicality, obviously, because it's a sports car, and to be really honest, that's not what you look for in a sports car. So overall, it's an amazing car, and that was our review, I guess. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, comment down below what you think about this video. Sharing this video would be a great idea, but even better would be subscribing to our channel. So do press that red subscribe button. Thank you so much.